If somebody you never met before walked up to you and told you their name, would you then say that you knew them? Putting a name on someone or something doesn't mean that you know them. You know, you might learn a person's name, and a lot of people will walk around and say, oh yeah, I know him, and you'll say their name as if you now know them because you know their name. But with experience, you'll understand that you don't truly ever know that person. You can have so many conversations and you still will not know that person because there's still more inside that they cannot even communicate. There's a lot of feelings that we have inside that we don't even know how to communicate. How much more true would this be for things that cannot speak? It would be infinitely more true. So the God that is created this world, we cannot know him fully. And this world itself, we cannot know this world. Although we might put names on things, like we put the name of gravity on gravity. Do we fully understand gravity? No. We try to act like we understand what gravity is, but they're constantly finding out more and more information about gravity. They're finding out more and more information about rocks, about stars. We put a name on it, and all of a sudden we feel like, oh, we discovered it and we know everything about it. The same way you do with a person. You go, oh, that's Bill, I know Bill. But really you don't know anything about him. You don't know what he does by himself. He doesn't know. You don't know what he considers his purpose to be. And it's the same way the things in this earth are. We don't have any kind of full understanding of them. We just simply put labels on them. And it's very important that we understand that putting a name on something doesn't mean we understand it. On May 20th, 1964, American radio astronomers Robert Wilson and Arnold Penzias discovered the cosmic microwave background radiation, the ancient light that began saturating the universe. They say 3,800,000 years after its creation, and they did so pretty much by accident. Now, this so-called background radiation, or ancient light as they call it, you know, whenever we look into the Bible, and then people always try to make it look like the Bible is just some, foolish words from some ancient Bronze Age men that didn't understand, their left from their right hand. And this is the way they talk about the people that wrote the Bible. And it's pretty obvious that they were very intelligent, and not only intelligent, that they had answers that we're still, through all of our so-called sophisticated science, are still coming into the realization of. Now, this background light and also this background noise that they found so much, in the 1900s, this noise and this light, it fits right into the description that the Bible gives us, that in the beginning there was God, and God said, let there be light. God said, this is the noise that we see, and then let there be light. This is the light. And we've also seen recently that under some circumstances, sound can actually form light. That's right, sound itself can form light. It might be a surprising fact, but it's possible to turn sound into light. This is a phenomenon called sonoluminescence, whereby sound generates an emission of light. So this is new information that we've come across that brings us all the way back to the beginning, where we have a creator, which is the logical outcome of having a creation. And he tells us that he said, let there be light. These words, this word, and just because they find a sound in the back, they put the label on it as microwave radiation. This is the label they put on, but do they truly understand what it was? No. The Bible tells us that God spoke. So God speaking could be labeled as this microwave background radiation, but do they actually know what it is? No, they've only put their label on it. Another thing that a lot of the modern scientists and believers in evolution have put a label on is the caveman or the Neanderthal, and they call them caveman. And and more recent information is showing us that not only were they just regular humans like us, but they were actually smarter than us. They were actually a lot stronger than us. The Neanderthals had larger brains than modern humans do. And a new study of a Neanderthal skeleton now suggests this is because their brains spent more time growing. So once again, the brains had more time to grow. What does this show us? That they lived longer. So what does this also bring us back to? It brings us back to the Bible. The Bible telling us that early men lived way longer than we do. They say Adam lived to be 900 years old. And his children lived, 800s, 900s, and then slowly after the fall, the age of humans has been declining. But this is scientifically proven that they had more time for their brains to grow. It's also shown that they were much stronger, and there was different things about the earth than the way they are now. And you can see this by the size of the creatures, by the size of dinosaurs. A lot of people don't know, but lizards never stop growing. So if you have something like the Jackson lizard, and you look at this Jackson lizard, just think of this lizard which never stops growing as long as it lives. What would it look like after maybe 900 years old? It would look a lot like maybe a triceratops. And so, although modern science have put names on these lizards and called them dinosaurs, once again, this is just placing a label on something and then acting like they know what it is. Once we really start looking back in the past and see all the mistakes that scientists have made, and we still see today just all the things that are being overturned, all the things that we're still learning, all the things that we say, oh, we thought this was true, but we find out it isn't. And, all the different, chemicals that we didn't know are destroying parts of Earth are things that are put on the shelves that are giving people cancer. We're just not as smart as we try to make ourselves out to be. And we don't know these things as firmly as we believe that we know them. And the more that we humble ourselves and realize how little we actually know, I believe the more we'll start looking back to the beginning, to our ancestors that came and left us more than just a name. They gave us a description. They gave us the origin of this earth and everything in it. Something to think about.
Do take good care of yourself.